was not the only WTTV news personality to make it onto the big screen. IU graduate Barbara Stock joined the mid-morning team in February of 1977 for about 1 year. She was replaced by Gloria Joseph. Though her stay was short, Barbara had several opportunities to display her many talents. A member of the Singing Hoosiers, she made this appearance on the 1977 State Fair variety show.
It's interesting to see people do things that perhaps they don't do normally the rest of the year. For instance, my normal job is a newscaster. That's what I do for a living. But for a week up here, I get an opportunity to come up and meet all the entertainers and have a very good time emceeing a variety show. A young woman you're about to meet has another vocation as well. She is the very fine interviewer that you see on the mid-morning show. But we discovered she's an excellent singer in addition to being a beautiful girl, and so she is here to sing for us again on the Indiana State Fair variety show. Ladies and gentlemen, Barbara Stock.
Give me somebody to dance for. Give me somebody to show. Let me wake up in the morning to find I have somewhere exciting to go. To have something that I can believe in. To have someone to be. Use me, choose me. God, I'm a dancer. A dancer dances. Give me somebody to dance with. Give me a place to fit in. Help me return to the world of the living by showing me how to begin. Play me the music. Give me a chance to come through. All I ever needed was the music and the mirror and the chance to dance for you. Give me a job and you instantly get me involved. If you give me a job, then the rest of this mess will get solved. Put me to work, you would think that by now I'm allowed. I'll do you proud. Call me rough to grab onto. Help me to prove that I'm strong. Give me the chance to look forward to saying, hey, listen, they're playing my song. Play me the music. Play me the music. Play me the music. Give me a chance to come through. All I ever needed was the music and the mirror and the chance to
Barbara Stock, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
After leaving WTTV, Barbara Stock landed a slot on Chips as a motorcycle policewoman in 1981. Following that, you may remember her as Robert Urick's love interest in Spencer for Hire. And we were all delighted to see her back on WTTV in a guest shot on Seinfeld. In addition to WTTV's regular early news, in the 1970s, there was a final edition that aired at about 1 a.m. each night. These were often hosted by Gary Lee and Kim Beach. Due to the lateness of the hour, it was sometimes a challenge to get their pre-taping just right.
From the Channel 4 News Center, this is News 4 Indiana with Kim Beach and Gary Lee Sports.
Good morning. 25 persons died in a fire Sunday. Why am I picking up an echo? Wasn't I?
You're gonna blow it, Gary. I just know you
No, we
are.
can't keep going. We've got to start it over again.
From the Channel 4 News Center, this is News 4 Indiana with Kim Beach and Gary Lee Sports.
Hey, I gotta get some sleep.
What fell over in there? I'm sorry. I got to get serious.
Come back in and do the news for us, will you?
Gary Lee continued with WTTV in many capacities over the years, from sports and weather to commercial productions. He was a trooper and could always be counted on to jump into some of the most unusual situations. Gary Lee is, of course, a popular racing commentator for several national cable networks and is often seen in local commercials. News anchor Doug Rafferty got his start at WTTV on January 22nd, 1972, as a member of the Bloomington crew. He was a single junior at IU, living on campus at Wright Quad. 2 years later, he made his first on-air appearance as a substitute for Fred Robbins in Bloomington. He did well, but was reportedly glad when it was over. 6 months later, he would slide into an anchor chair and never leave.
I'm Doug Rafferty. We'll have a preview of Air Show 88 tonight on the 10 o'clock news.
With WTTV's reputation for local sports, many of the world's most prominent figures granted our sports team interviews. Chuck Workman, sports director in the mid-'70s, captured many of them.
George, listen, there was a lot of talk after the playoffs that you, Free, and Dawkins were unhappy. You wanted to leave Philly. Was there any basis to that?
Well, not really. I think that every team has problems. Our team certainly has some problems. And every team in the league, I think, has some problems. But, no, I haven't been very vocal in my disenchantment with the Philadelphia thing. And, you know, I've heard a lot of talk about people suggesting that I will be back here next year, but like I know nothing about that. If you ask me right now, would I be back here to play in Indiana next year? My truthful and honest answer would have to be no.
Hawkeye
you
fan?
heard it first.
Are you a Hawkeye fan?
You want this?
No,
I'm a Purdue fan.
don't pay enough to take this.
Well, you're telling me. You're telling me.
Well, Purdue's a pretty good ball club too.
All right. You want to talk?
I know more about basketball than I do baseball.
Boxing returns to Tyndall Armory on Monday, April the 3rd. The 6-bout card will be headlined by Indianapolis' top light heavyweight, Marvin Johnson. Marvin's working hard to meet Eddie Davis, a slick counter-puncher. He's working out at the East Washington Street Powell Club Boxing Center, where he's a counselor and trains under the watchful eye of Champ Chaney. Davis is fast, but Marvin knows what it will take to win. Marvin, they talk about Eddie Davis coming in. Now, you have an 18-1 record. He is 10-0-1. They say a counter-puncher such as Davis is supposed to give you trouble. How do you approach a guy like this?
Well, the most important thing is the left jab. Like see me throwing right here. Left jab would counteract almost anything. It sets him up and makes him ready for when I'm ready to throw my right hand. And then I'm left hooking right behind that. And I keep the pressure on him all the time.
Right.
He can't do anything with this pressure on him. He got to think fast. He got to know what he want to do at all times. And at the same time, it's to my advantage because I'm inside. Get inside and start throwing combinations. And that's basically what I'm going to do.
Chuck Marlowe remembered one very special interview.
Joe DiMaggio. I had a delightful experience with him, and I was told that he would be very difficult. I was told that he would be absolutely impossible. And I just walked up to him, and at the time, there was probably 30 years difference in our age. And I just said, I tried to take the meek and the quiet way to him. I said, Mr. DiMaggio, I said, would you just grant me just a couple of minutes with you? I said, I promise I won't embarrass you. And I said, I do want to let you know right now that I only want to talk about you and not your personal life. And he said, that's fine. So we sat and we talked, and I said the first thing that comes to my mind, of course, whenever I see you, I said I can just remember so many years listening to Mel Allen talk about how smooth and how good you were, and you're playing against your brothers Dominic and Vince, and they played with Boston, and I said, but the one thing that I do remember about you is the 56-game hitting streak that you had. And well, he starts in, and he starts talking and loosens up and becomes very, very friendly. And he was, a lot of people don't realize this, he was a very shy man, but he would look you right in the eye when he talked to you. And that's the mark of a good interviewer or a person who is being interviewed, because they capture your eyes then. You can't look away. If you do, you're intimidated, and then you're lost. And he did this.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first of its kind here in Indianapolis at the new Hoosier Dome. It's the Old Timers All-Star Baseball game between the American and the National League. And what more fitting way to start this off than to introduce to you probably one of the greatest contemporary names in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Joltin' Joe DiMaggio, the New York Yankees. Joe, it's such a pleasure to have you here in Indianapolis.
Thank you very much. It's always nice to be here. However, it was the last time, I think something like 40 years ago or better.
And that was back when you swung the bat at the old Perry Stadium,
I believe it was, and Casey Stengel might have been the manager there. We attended a banquet, and Al Lopez was there as well. So it might have been at that time that Lopez might have been managing. I'm not certain.
Those many, many great years, baseball has certainly been kind to great veterans, but I would imagine that of all these men here tonight, you have made the greatest contribution to the existence of this game.
Well, thank you very much, Chuck. You know, you said something about all these wonderful ball players have been, you know, this was a dream of years ago, because we're all a little bit heavy now, partly in all different sections, but it's really a great fun kind of a thing for us, as well as the fans, who appreciate and are very enthusiastic in seeing some of their favorite old-timers.
Joe, I have to ask you one thing before we leave, and that is the 56-game hit record. I would imagine that everybody talks to you. That subject has to come up. It certainly is a warm memory, is it not?
It certainly is. I don't believe that I could find a memory as warm as that. However, I still think one of the greatest beats that I was in was the fact that I had the Yankee pinstripes, and for 13 years that I played, we won 10 pennants and 9 World Championships. That stands out in my mind more than anything else.
Well, I want to tell you something. I've admired you for so many years. I followed that hitting streak on a small farm down in Illinois, and I'm so proud to stand next to the great name in baseball.
Chuck, thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe. Just one of the many faces you will be seeing here tonight, and we'll be back with tonight's starting lineup and the big game itself in just a minute.
After it was through, I threw it back and cut the interview off, and I said, Mr. DiMaggio, I said, thank you very, very much. I said, you've really honored me with this, you know. And he said, well, that's kind. I walked away from him and never asked him for his autograph. Never. I just blew it. I just flat blew it, because I think he would have given it to me.
While the news of the day was usually pretty serious stuff, weather was always a place where we could have a little fun. Carolyn Churchman started things in the 60s, and Jeannie Raymond was known to brave the elements in her reports. Things were always unpredictable when Gary Lee was reporting.
How could anybody hit a respectable dude like that in the face? At least you didn't get me.
Paul Poteet developed his signature brand of weather delivery on WTTV.
From WTTV Channel 4, this is the Indiana Nightly News.
Paul, this is the last full week we have to be out searching for chia pets and...
You know, I never have found one either.
And,
somebody told me Frank's, and I went to Frank's, and I'm too embarrassed to ask anybody where they are, so I've just gone in circles. I don't know where they are. You're not going to get one. You're not going to get one.
Well, I'm going to be disappointed.
Somebody call if you know where to get one. I don't think they make them anymore.
Probably.
Slicer Dicer, Chuck is suggesting. And I've got him on my list already. It's a clapper for you, Chuck.
Paul is, of course, now seen on Channel 6. But he's lost his mustache. Getting a newscast on the air takes a staff of dedicated reporters, editors, writers, and photographers. WTTV ended its own news operation in 1990 and entered into an agreement with WRTV to broadcast their 6 News at 10. Many talented people graced the WTTV newsroom over its 40-year span, and we are proud of the time they were with us. We would like to thank Garbo's Antiques and Cafe on the corner of Madison and Thompson, who generously lent us this 1950s Philco television to help us salute our 50 years for Indiana.
Boy, how's that for real action? And how's this for a real action idea? Make every Thursday night an event night. Go to the races party night. Root home your favorites while you party it up with 7-Up, the real action drink. Thank you. And other good things like juicy Marhofer wieners, the tastiest brand in town. You know, you can dress a Marhofer wiener any way you want, and that original Fun Time flavor will stand out in any competition. Marhofer wieners and 7-Up, a real head start on fun when you plan next week's informal Let's Go to the Races party.
I got a dwarf peach tree, and it's heavy with peaches. He said, I've got 2 by 6s out there propping up the limbs so they won't all fall over.
Mom, I'm nervous.
Texas.
Austin?
You're going to do great. Kansas.
Topeka.
Hawaii.
Honolulu. Atlanta. Sacramento.
You are good.
Keep them coming, Mom.
Now a study confirms what you've always known. A smart breakfast like this with whole grain oat Cheerios helps kids do better in school.
Mom, give me a tough one.
Vermont.
Montpelier.
The one and only Cheerios.
She can help you with the tough ones.
Mom.
Hey, Gus, look at our buddy. He's got dinner for 2.
Maybe he has a date.
Now, feast on 2 Long John Silver's meals for the unbelievable price of $5.99. Choose 2 of our classic Fish and More meals, or 2 of our new country-style breaded fish meals, or 1 of each, and all for just $5.99.
Hey, it's a woman.
Oops, wrong apartment.
It's Tim Hogan's Labor Day Carpet and Flooring Sell-a-thon. Once a year savings on today's best brands. Kid-proof carpet by Mohawk with a 20-year warranty, up to 3 rooms installed, now just $6.99. From Mica brand laminate floors with a 15-year water damage guarantee for as little as $5.99 installed. Mannington vinyl and wood floors, and introducing Shaw ceramic tile. We have it, we install it, and it's on sale now. Shop special hours Sunday and Monday with no payments and no interest for 1 full year. Hurry to Tim Hogan's.
You need a car to do your best and get the most out of life. But how can you buy one if you have bad credit or no credit at all? Hi, I'm Fran Tarkington with good news. Thanks to 1-800-BAR-NONE, you don't have to let credit problems keep you from owning a car. If you're working, there's a car waiting for you. Just call 1-800-BAR-NONE. Your loan application will be completed and accepted in 5 minutes or less. Get the car you need and deserve. Call 1-800-BAR-NONE right now.
A transmission problem. That's not what you'd wanted, but when your local AMCO dealer fixes it, he can back it coast to coast with the best warranty and coverage in the business. 1 year unlimited mileage, 3 year 50,000 mile, or lifetime. So what does the offer of an AMCO lifetime warranty mean? It means the experts at AMCO stand behind their work. Not just for today, but for as long as you own your car. Call 1-800-GO-AMCO, AA-MCO.
Look at my car. Does it look like I can afford car insurance?
Call and see.
I know I'm supposed to have car insurance, but how can I afford it on my budget?
Call and see.
Getting busted without car insurance is a real nightmare. How do I prevent this from happening to me again?
Call and see. Don't risk costly fines and the loss of your license. Call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO now and get guaranteed low monthly payments to fit your budget.
1-800-SAFE-AUTO. SAFE-AUTO.
Hey, Princess, what you doing?
When I kiss this frog, he will turn into a handsome prince, and we will live happily ever after.
Wouldn't you rather have some Honey Nut Cheerios?
Maybe we should just be friends.
Honey Nut Cheerios, they're irresistible. You're not really a prince, are you?
Now when you feed your kids, feed their minds. Get free Microsoft software and a free month of internet access. Details on marked boxes.
Have a safe and happy holiday weekend from WB4 Indiana.
Bob Cook was a part of WTTV from the beginning. He got his start doing sports, but perhaps he's best known for giving Indiana a wake-up call with RFD4.
Elmer Snow, someplace along the line, wanted to start a farm show, and I worked for the Johnson Creamery Company. And he thought that anybody that was in the dairy business ought to know something about a farm show. The truth of the matter is that Purdue's ag economists and those people did such a great job that I kind of faked my way through. But we had a lot of things on the farm show that attracted a lot of attention. A fellow by the name of Harold Falk up at Nineveh was the champion Versailles Pumpkin Festival grower, and he'd give us the pumpkin. And we one year we had the biggest pumpkin that was grown, 407 pounds, I think, any place. In other years in Ohio, they claimed they'd get them up to 500, 600 pounds. I don't know. I didn't worry about it. We showed the thing on the set. Dick Blair we'd go up to Nineveh, and he'd take all the seeds out and give us the core. And out in my backyard, I once had a compost pile with 8 pumpkins that weighed more than 450 pounds, something like that. We tried to make it not strictly just nothing but farm show. We did, Joe Smith did 5 minutes of straight news. He even would run a lot of the sports scores. We tried to make it appeal to people who really didn't care much about farming. And I think we succeeded fairly enough. And with the help of a lot of great people at Purdue, like Dave Petrich, who was an agricultural economist and that sort of thing, we gave enough of the farm news to satisfy, and gave enough. Joe Smith kept them up on what was going on in Bangladesh and all that sort of thing, and the sports fans.
RFD4, Bob Cook's favorite farm program, is brought to you live from the 1983 Indiana State Fair by...
Well, good morning, fellow taxpayers. Once again, we're at ringside at the Indiana State Fair, ringside in front of the Lincoln Theater, where we've been for some 51 years.
The reason it was a pleasure for us to do the show at the State Fair for 10 days was that I would see all the people. There was never any place else where I would see all these people that they would say that they were watching the show, and they'd come in the morning and watch it. We'd go out there and do it live, you know. And I'm still trying to catch up on my sleep after getting up all those years. And we tried to make Channel 4 appealing in another way, in that I developed a close friendship with about 10 guys at the National Weather Service. And, you know, most people just zip the weather report off the wire and read it. And I would wait they'd have me wait till 10 after 5 in the morning. Our show went on at 6, because they'd go up on the roof and read certain things. And our weather reports were so much more accurate than many of the people had, because we were giving them little intimate things, you know. We really approached the farm show like we approached everything else that I ever did, and we tried to make it the best farm show around. And we thought it was.
Among the other things that I produced at the time was a dance show patterned after the Dick Clark thing on the network, but we did one locally, and we did it at the Fairground Studios. And I got a call from an agent one day who wanted to get some of his talent on. He had 2 to offer us. One was Little Jimmy Dickens, the country star, whom everybody still, I guess Little Jimmy is still working today. And the other guy was some guy named Elvis Presley. And I said, no, give me Little Jimmy. Nobody ever heard of that other guy. So So I turned Elvis Presley down. Shows you why, what's what kept me out of the big time.
We had this program called Top 10 Dance Party. And we just, I mean, there were so many people that came in. Recording companies, Capitol, Decca, RCA, Sun, all of these would bring their talent through Indianapolis on the way to New York or on their way to Chicago and have them on the program. And the one that you mentioned in particular, and there's so many that I do remember, Stan Kenton, who was a good friend, turned out to be a good friend after a few instances that happened. But Elvis Presley came to Indianapolis in, I tried to think of this before I came here tonight, either 1955 or 1956, and I think it was might have been 1956. In November, to sign his contract with RCA. Now, they had purchased all the rights from the previous recording company, and so RCA called and said, "We have somebody in town. We'd like to bring him out tomorrow. If that'd be all right." I said, "Fine. Who's that?" And he said, "Elvis Presley." Well, that name back in those days didn't mean a thing, you know. So they did, brought him in. We were at the fairgrounds. We were in Studio A, which is in the southeast corner of the fairgrounds. We had a sofa, and as the camera would look at the sofa, I sat on this end. I mean, it was just, it was not theatrically set up at all. I sat on this end of the sofa. Elvis sat in the middle, and Colonel Tom Parker is over here on this side. Elvis would not go, he would not move this way without Parker moving this. I mean, he did everything that Parker said to do, and he did nothing that Parker said not to do. And I'd ask him a question. I'd say, Elvis, most of us back here don't know anything about you. You know, how'd you get your start? Well, I was born in Tupelo, Mississippi, and my mommy bought me my first guitar when I was 9 years old, and I sang in the church choir, and you know, all this. RCA had brought a 45 recording of the latest pressing that they had for him. And they told me, they said, "We'd like to have you play this." And I said, "Which side?" And they said, "It's marked." And I said, "Okay." So I looked at the record before we gave it to the engineers, and there's a mark over here on this side, a little X over on that side. So I gave it to him that way, and I wrote the name down. And played the record. Well, we had, back in those days, a crawl that rolled request names up underneath, and they would reverse the polarity on a camera and shoot that crawl, and it would change it to white letters, and here's everybody's name, you know, they've requested this song and all. So we had hoped to have a lot of requests for this song, and the name of the song was Mystery Train. And so anyway, RCA called me the next week and said, "Hey, how's the record going? How are the requests going?" I said, "It's terrible. We're not getting any requests at all." And they said, what do you mean? Now, you have to remember, he has now been on Ed Sullivan's show, okay? And I'm in television. I don't watch TV, all right? And they said, the record's dynamite. I said, "The record's terrible." And they said, "What do you mean?" And it was. I mean, Mystery Train had nothing to it at all. And they said, "What are you playing?" And I said, "I'm playing the side you marked." And they said, "What are you playing?" And I said, "Mystery Train." They said, "Turn it over, turn it over." It was Heartbreak Hotel. Heartbreak Hotel on the other side. See, another great Marlowe faux pas, you know. We turned it over. Boy, I'll tell you, the requests just started booming in off that thing, so.
Let's disco!
I'll eat all these and I'll be fat tomorrow, but it don't matter.
Oh, everybody should be that fat, I'll tell you, Dolly.
50 years for Indiana is brought to you by your local Long John Silver's restaurants.
They come from another planet. Their mission, find Earth and fit in. His name is Dick.
I'm gorgeous!
He's the High Commander.
And this is my salute.
The father figure.
Liking leads to loving, and loving leads to reproduction, and nobody reproduces with me. Understood?
The Love God. Starting September 13th, 5 times a week, Third Rock from the Sun.
Coming September 13th to WB4. This weekend, say goodbye to summer and to high furniture prices with half-off savings from Value City Furniture. Save half on a luxurious 3-piece all-leather living room. Your choice of colors, just $1,198. Or save half on this stunning Italian bedroom. Pay just $398 for the armoire, the dresser and mirror, or the Queen King headboard with 2 nightstands. Don't miss the fabulous half-off Labor Day weekend sale at Value City Furniture. You just can't do any better.
WTTV remembers 50 years for Indiana. The top-rated local children's show in the 1960s was The Popeye Show, hosted by Happy Herb the Sailor.
It's my brother, Sam Melvin.
Happy Herb introduced cartoons and sang songs from his studio wharf and often took his young viewers behind the scenes to local businesses. Happy Herb currently lives in Chicago and works in advertising. This television memory has been brought to you by Marsh. At Marsh, we value you and WB4 Indiana.
Hi, we're Jamie and Lisa Carter, owners of Carter Service Company. Men, we know what you want from a plumbing, heating, and cooling company. It's important to get service in hours, not days. In most cases, we can be to your door in 60 minutes or less.
And ladies, we know how intimidating it can be to have service work done in your home. We have the most professional technicians anywhere. They treat you with the utmost respect, giving you straightforward pricing before any work begins.
Some people called it pride.
The simple fact is, I love it. Being in demand, getting things done. Business is fast-paced, challenging, exciting. You have to give it your best. For me, that meant starting at Indiana Business College. Their business professional program gave me the skills and confidence I needed to succeed.
To start your training for a new career in business, computers, or accounting, call Indiana Business College now at 1-800-IBC-GRAD. 1-800-IBC-GRAD.
Have you heard about adjustable rate mortgages that have low rates for a while, then the rates go up? The Money Store has a loan that starts at a great rate, then the rates go down. The Back on Track plan. It pays off your high-rate credit cards, lowers your monthly payments, and for paying on time, your payments go down every year for 4 years. The Back on Track plan at the Money Store. Everyone's calling for it, shouldn't you? The Money Store, 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Mom, I'm nervous.
Texas. Austin? You're gonna do great. Kansas.
Topeka.
Hawaii.
Honolulu. Atlanta. Sacramento.
You are good.
Keep them coming, Mom.
Now a study confirms what you've always known. A smart breakfast like this with whole grain oat Cheerios helps kids do better in school.
Mom, give me a tough one.
Vermont.
Montpelier.
The one and only Cheerios.
She can help you with the tough ones.
Mom.
WTTV has been a part of the Indiana State Fair dating back to 1955, when the communication building was used as temporary studios while our Bluff Road facility was being built.
We would go out to the fair starting early in the morning and shoot various things all day long, take them to a commercial processor, bring them back into this building after they were processed, stick them all together in the proper order, and then at 7:30 the program went on the air. And we were done for the day.
By the 1960s, WTTV was bringing the excitement of the fair into Indiana homes live.
Even the press box is filled on this day. Here they come, Lincoln of Vincennes.
I joined the station, we didn't have a lot of local programming, and so we decided that maybe the thing that would set us apart from everything else would be local programming. So we started to acquire those franchises of things that could be local. Indiana University Sports, Purdue University Sports, Notre Dame, Indiana High School Athletic Association, the 500 Festival, Miss Indiana pageant, you name it. We eventually acquired all of it. And in doing all of these things, we had to innovate. One of the areas where we innovated the most, I think, was at the State Fair. And we all of a sudden found ourselves doing, at the State Fair, 60, count them, 60 hours of live television, which is a lot of live television. And the joke internally in the station was that every time somebody drops a bale of hay at the State Fair, we do 30 minutes on it. We did the State Fair variety show every night. It was a half an hour live with a band and entertainers and you name it. And the host was a fellow named Nick Clooney. And Nick came out of Cincinnati at that time and would come up and bring his family and spend the entire week with us. And sitting in the audience for that 10 years we did that show was a little fellow by the name of George Clooney. And we watched George grow up. And of course, George has had a few successes since that time. That didn't come out of WTTV per se, but it is also a story of how closely knit the family was. And obviously we're very proud of George and Nick and all the things they've accomplished.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Clooney!
Thank you. Very nice to see you. Hello. Hello there at home, and welcome to the Indiana State Fair. We've got a great show for you here tonight. And in the event you didn't hear the opening or we haven't had a chance to meet before, my name is Nick Clooney, and it's been my good fortune to be the master of ceremonies of this event for the last 3 years in a row. And this is the 4th year now for the Indiana State Fair Variety Show. I was talking to our producer, Don Tillman, and for those of you who have watched this program in previous years, you may know that at the beginning of each show, some very strange things have happened to me on this very stage, and always in a surprise form. I never know what was, in the past at least, I've never known what was going to happen. A 1,400-pound bull met me right here on one show. I also was introduced to a 32-foot stalk of corn, and I met a goat who made a terrible mess here on this floor at one point. But at any rate, that was a long time ago, and I talked to our producer, Mr. Don Tillman, and I said, let's try something a little bit different. Instead, let's just have a straightforward opening to the show this year, all during the Indiana State Fair, and give an opportunity to meet some of the people who are here and some of the great events that are going on at the Indiana State Fair. And he agreed to that, so I am happy to announce that there will be no more surprises at the beginning of these shows. Instead, I'll just be able to introduce you to people like I'm going to introduce you to right now. For instance, we are going to have on today's show, we're going to have on today's, would you hold it down, please? We're doing a show here. We're going to have, will you knock it off? Would you hold it down, please? Would you get out of here? We have a show going. Don, would you get these guys? Hey, you guys! Excuse me, ma'am, I didn't see you there. Could you just hold it down, you think? We've got a lot of people who need. If you could just hold it down. The state champion husband caller, Linda Johnson. Here she is. Well, I'm so glad you cleaned up for the show. Thank you, Linda.
Chasing chickens.
Oh, you've been chasing? Yeah, obviously. They got away, didn't they?
They sure did.
Yeah, tell me, what's the story here with you?
Well, you see, I had my coop of chickens all fixed up. Price Poultry bring to the Indiana State Fair. Got ready to set them in the truck, and the bottom fell out of the crate, and those chickens went everywhere.
Oh, right. All over you and everywhere.
Oh, crisis. Up on the high wire and everything.
Big crisis, yes.
Right. Now, I needed my husband to come and help me get those chickens back in the coop.
Mm-hmm. And this is what you did?
Right.
Let me hear it. Do I need this?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay, the champion husband caller. I'll hold this for you. Yes, indeed. Here she is, Linda Johnson.
Come and help me get
Captain and Tennille. Beautiful. Well, I was hoping to have time enough to talk to you, but the applause took it all up there. He's warming up. Come on and crow, dummy. Ready? Thousands of people waiting here. You know, a lot of money we're standing. Could you just give me a little thing here? Just any kind of a little crow will do, you know. Just cock-a-doodle-doo, anything, you know. Oh, you can fly. Swell. Can you crow? Dolly Parton! First thing I have to do, Dolly, is really congratulate you on that first rodeo show over there. That was astounding. Dolly broke all records for a first show with the Don Steiner Championship Rodeo today. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It was really a great pleasure. I don't know if I'd drawed all those people, but I sure had fun trying to entertain them. And you got a nice bunch of folks here today. Yeah.
You know, Dolly, I was thinking of all the marvelous songs that you have written and the big hits that you have had. You've had numberless number ones on the country charts and over into the pop charts as well. If somebody said to Dolly Parton, there's only one record, one song that you're going to be able to put into a time capsule, and 500 years from now, all anybody is ever going to know about Dolly Parton is this one record. Which one of your records would it be?
Well, I've never had a question like that asked of me, but my favorite song of all the songs I've written or recorded is a song called The Coat of Many Colors. It's not the biggest selling record that I've ever had, but it's my very favorite. So if I'm going to put it in a capsule, I think it will be Coat of Many Colors.
There's no business like show business, like no business. Oh. Goodbye, my Coney Island babe. Farewell, my own true love, honey. I'm gonna go away and leave you, never to see you any. Never gonna see you any. I'm gonna sail from that ferry boat, never to return again. So goodbye, farewell. Goodbye, my Coney Island. Yeah. Goodbye, my Coney Island. Goodbye, my Coney Island.
Rare vintage, ladies and gentlemen, from Chesterton, Indiana. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Okay. There they are.
The truth of the matter is we really did do a lot of innovative things. No one had ever televised the pig races before. And somebody said, nobody's going to watch the pig races. It became very, very popular. It was very successful from a sponsorship point of view. We did racing. We did the cheerleaders contest. As they say, anything that we saw out there that we thought we could make a television show into, keeping in mind that our viewers were Indiana, as they are currently. And so we thought the state fair was Indiana. So we might as well spotlight something that is generic to the particular viewers. But we did all kinds of things there and did all kinds of innovations. And if you look back on it now, every day I see things on television and they say, wow, this is really an inventive thing. And I look back and I said, it's not inventive. We did that 20 years ago. But we didn't have the technology that you have now to work with. The cameras were 10 times bigger than they are now. The ability to get a picture from point A to point B was much more difficult than it is now. So we look back and say, well, maybe we started some of these things. Maybe some of the crazy ideas that we did came out of that.
Uncle Bob Hardy and the Happy Valley Folk are coming up next when we return with even more scenes from our 50 years for Indiana.
And just how many passengers, Jack Mayer, does the Renault Dauphine seat comfortably?
It's comfortably 4 grown-up passengers where they will seat in this car comfortably. Now, this car is a 3-speed transmission, and it has an overhead valve engine, 4-cylinder engine in the rear.
like us. Look at our buddy. He's got dinner for two.
Maybe he has a date.
Now, feast on 2 Long John Silver's meals for the unbelievable price of $5.99. Choose 2 of our classic Fish and More meals, or 2 of our new country-style breaded fish meals, or 1 of each, and all for just $5.99.
Hey, it's a woman.
Oops, wrong apartment.
Hey, just because you're grown up, you don't have to act so grown up. There you go. Yeah, man, that's better. Yeah, baby. Oh, try this Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Think it's kid stuff? Now, it's cinnamon sugar swirled over squares of wheat and rice. It's good, ain't it? See, there's a new you already. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's the adult thing to do. No, we don't think so.
Right now, LensCrafters is having an end-of-summer sun sale. You'll find great prices on sunglasses throughout the store, including a complete pair of prescription sunglasses for only $99. Choose from hundreds of the latest frame styles, and LensCrafters will have your sunglasses ready in about an hour. The end-of-summer sun sale, on now at LensCrafters. Hurry, sale ends soon.
LensCrafters Greenwood Mall is now located next to LS Airs.
You get more for your money during our big Labor Day sale at today's Bedroom 1. First, you choose the bedroom group you've always wanted. Then, take an additional 10% off our lowest prices. Plus, have no payments, no interest for 1 long year. Traditional or contemporary, choose your group. Then take an extra 10% off to save even more. Get more for your money this Labor Day. Today's Bedroom 1. This weekend only.
You know, it's not easy these days keeping up with what's fashionable. I mean, there's fad, and there's fashion. What we carry are the kind of 2- and 3-button styles that men will feel comfortable in for a long time. After all, the most expensive suit in your closet is the one you wear only once. And we don't carry any of those.
The Men's Warehouse.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it.
1-800-776-SUIT.
You need a car to do your best and get the most out of life. But how can you buy one if you have bad credit or no credit at all? Hi, I'm Fran Tarkington with good news. Thanks to 1-800-BAR-NONE, you don't have to let credit problems keep you from owning a car. If you're working, there's a car waiting for you. Just call 1-800-BAR-NONE. Your loan application will be completed and accepted in 5 minutes or less. Get the car you need and deserve. Call 1-800-BAR-NONE right now.
Slide over. You're hogging the whole seat.
Sorry.
Looks like I need to fill up.
Me too.
Me too.
Yup. When you're running on empty, turn to Village Pantry with high-quality Marathon gas and the freshest coffee and foods. You can fill up both your tanks.
Hey, Ricky, you're so fine, you blow my mind.
I love my job!
Coming September 13th to WB4.